Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's I've Been Playing, where today we're talking about Borderlands 3. Borderlands 3 is of course the newest game in the series, and from what I can tell takes place after all of the others, as you would expect. It's not like the pre-sequel. They probably would have named it like the pre-sequel prequel something. They do something weird with it, is my point, so it's definitely the next in the timeline. And much of the game remains the same. It still has the same type of gameplay, the same type of combat with all of the varied guns. There are a lot of guns, there are a lot more guns, I do know that about this one. There are a ton of guns that you can get, and they're all, from what I understood from the marketing, randomly mixed together. And, since I didn't mention, this was released in 2019, which seems wrong. It seems like it should have been more recent than that, but apparently not. But if you have played one of the main Borderlands games before, which presumably you will have, since this is the fourth technically in the series, you'll know what you're getting into gameplay-wise. It also is similar in the way that there are a ton of side missions and all the leveling up stuff, all the skill trees, very similar to what you will have seen before. The only thing I can think of that might be a little bit different, and it's been a while since I've played any of the others, so I could be wrong about this, is the kind of special abilities which you can enhance with different, almost modifications from your skill tree. It makes sense while you're playing. I don't know if I'm explaining it well. So for example, I'm playing as a Siren again, which I think is what I played in the first one. And first I did kind of a ground pound, just the general ground pound kind of thing, and then I unlocked something where now it causes corrosion damage as well. So you can upgrade it or modify it in that sort of way. You can change the element attached to it, you can change how it works, you can probably change the damage output and stuff like that. I haven't unlocked all that many of them. I'm only level 12 or 13 at this point in the game. But you can customize your loadout to a larger extent than I remember being able to in the previous games. Since I brought up Borderlands 1, Borderlands 1 is the only one in the series that I've fully finished. I've played all of them, but in 2 and the pre-sequel, I got stuck on a boss fight that I had not leveled up enough for, even though I was trying to do as many side missions as possible, and kind of got stuck in a loop where I couldn't go any further because I wasn't strong enough. I just kept getting killed. So we'll see if that happens with this one. It hasn't yet. I did get into a side mission that I didn't realize was a higher level than I should have been doing and just kind of quit it for now. But generally things haven't been going too badly. However, I did find a really good gun. I don't think it's a legendary level gun, but it's pretty close. Pretty early on in the game, that's kind of been taking care of everything for me. So, to be honest, the game mostly does seem a little bit too easy with that gun, but I'm also not complaining because I don't want to get stuck again. Also, I myself am not the biggest Borderlands fan. I do enjoy them. I wouldn't play them otherwise. But I think I've talked about how Tales from the Borderlands, the Telltale series, is my favorite Borderlands game, and one thing in this game's favor is that it brings some of those characters from that game into this one, which is a fun kind of acknowledgement of that game that, I mean, makes sense. It's technically in their series, I guess. It's not a main series, but it counts. But it's kind of nice to see those characters again. If you haven't played Tales from the Borderlands, it's really fun. Obviously, it's more of a, I don't want to say walking simulator, but it's not the same type of gameplay. You're not going to be fighting stuff. It's a lot of quick time events and picking dialogue, but it is a lot of fun. It has the sense of humor that you expect. It's great, it's really good. It's probably my favorite Telltale game as well. But my point was, as not the biggest Borderlands fan generally, I don't know, I enjoy them, but I wouldn't count any of them among my favorite games. But I play them and I'm fine with playing them and I wouldn't mind playing them again. I don't understand how that works in my brain, but I'm just letting you know where I stand on the series. I don't know that I would call this one my favorite. It's decent. It looks really nice. The cell shading seems a little different this time to me. I can't explain how or why. It just feels different. I don't know if it's because I'm playing on a newer console and just the frame rate somehow makes it look different, or I don't know what it is. It just looks a little bit different than previously. Maybe they're trying to set it apart a little bit because cell shaded isn't necessarily that strange and aesthetic anymore. There are a lot of games that borrowed it. I don't know what it is. It just looks a little different to me. But it still looks good. I think the main reason I'm not enjoying it, and I'm not enjoying it. I don't count it as my favorite, and obviously I'm not super far into the game yet. Like I said, I'm only level 12 or 13, which is not that far into this game because I know how high you can level up. But the villains are obnoxious, and I know they're supposed to be, but it's just a level of obnoxious that really is unnecessary. Like, you don't have Handsome Jack anymore. You might know why, you might not, I don't know, but he's not there. They're not fun in the same way, they're not likable in the same way at all. Not that Handsome Jack was supposed to be likable, but he was a good villain and just a good, all-around a good character, if nothing else. But these two, I don't even remember their names, and I should. One of them's Tyrene, I remember now, I remember the obnoxious sign-on she has to their fake murder YouTube. I don't remember the other one, it starts with a T as well. They're memorable because they're obnoxious, but they're not memorable because I don't like their characters at all. I don't like them at all, I don't think they have anything. They're just kind of like everyone else in the Borderlands universe in that they're a little murder crazy. And the role they fill is kind of, they're called the God Twins, I think, is how the followers that they have gained refer to them. But it's just, they just kind of seem like generic bad guys. And I'm not interested. Everything else about the game is fine, but the villains, they just don't matter. They could be subbed in with, like I said, basically any other character in the game or the franchise. Like, they just have slightly more power, which I don't know much about yet, because I haven't met them face to face very often yet with my character. But they do have some sort of stronger power, I guess, or something going for them, and they will take what they can. But they're just kind of generic in there. Maybe there's more to them further on in the game, maybe they get more complicated, maybe they get more likable, although I doubt that one. But they just seem like they could be replaced with basically anything else, and it would be better. But that's been my experience with Borderlands, both past and present. Have you given any of them, or specifically this one, a try? Let me know what you think down in the comments down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed this, and I will see you next time.